All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Hey, well, welcome to the Whomst podcast, episode 132. I gotta get this out right now because no one's here. No one's here. And so I can get to actually talk without this thing bugging me in the back. Like, I feel like I know, just like when I had that one apartment, I felt like, oh, because the walls were so damn thin, I thought people were listening in to my rambles. I know they're not, but still. So I'm just getting it over with, man. How y'all doing? Good, man. Yeah, glad y'all clicked the link. Glad y'all listening. I appreciate it. This show is supported by the Link app. I'm an ambassador for it now. If you don't know what that is, it is basically, if you watch it on YouTube, you can see. But Link app, it's they sell a bunch of different little things where you get to tap. Like right now, what I just showed was a bracelet, and sometimes it's a card that you tapping on the back of someone's phone, and it'll send them to all your little social medias, your email, contact information, all types of stuff, whatever way you set it up to be, whatever you want them to see. That's it's set up inside bracelets, cards. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see. Now, granted, the one that I'm showing is a different company than Link, but it's the same thing. Where I don't have. I wish I had three hands. But you tap it on the back of your phone, then boop, send you a link. It's beautiful. It's a link in the bio wherever you're listening to, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Look into information. It's a link. Use promo code 3347 and you get 15% off. And that's actually the most legit way to support the show. You get something out of it, and I actually get paid for it. Some people been buying it, man. Cause usually when especially people on Instagram, it's all these little companies talking about you want to be our ambassador and shit like that. And then, especially the energy drink people, that's the ones I've been trying to as a joke, get them to support the show. And it was yeah, you can be an ambassador though, but you have to buy this you have to buy something, and that's annoying. You want me to sell something? Help me out. I'm not really expecting money, especially look, I'm a nobody. I know where I'm at right now, but if you want me to sell your stuff, you have to give me something. You know me? You have to give me something. You have to spend a little money to make money. All right, if in a situation, not have this be some sneaky way for you to get a little bit another sale. That's annoying. It's kind of the little scam artists. I forget the name of the companies, but they'll hire you. It's one of those jobs you immediately get a job interview. It's oh shit. And you go, and it's a whole little meeting about selling knives. I've never seen anybody even in I know they still in business, so I know some people are still doing it. So I feel these companies are only making their money off the people that they're giving these job interviews to, who are a sucker enough to buy their knives. And then they quit, but at least they got that one sale off these overpriced ass knives. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, it's fun, and I'm actually getting paid for that. So if you want to support the show, that's the best way to do it. First, a too long didn't read version of last week's episode, because I feel like I was rambling more about that guy who was who I kind of hurt his feelings about his fame or whatever. Where I know I didn't hurt his feelings, but at the same time, it's I did something. You feel me? I just want to normalize being normal. Especially now, yo, just don't let nobody make you feel bad about having a 9 to 5. If you're happy, that's all that matters, because they might not be happy. They might have a business. They might be following their dream, but they may not be happy. So if anything, they might be jealous of you, and that's why they always trying to put you down. So normalize being a normal person, sounds like an insult, but being a civilian, So as long as you're happy, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But the first topic for today, it's kind of short. I wrote it down, but I know I don't have much on it. But I saw a question on Twitter, and they was like, you know how cancel culture is. They already canceling a bunch of people, like they canceling cartoons. That's one thing. Like I get, you don't have to announce it. You don't have to announce that you're getting rid of cartoons. Just like don't show them, especially like Pepe Le Pew. It's like they're canceling Pepe Le Pew, but it's not like he's been relevant. You know what I mean? Like these cartoons been dead in the water for like 15, 20 years. It's like it's no point. You feel me? So, but that's not the reason why I brought that up. Is because Twitter was saying they trying to cancel sex and rape scenes in movies. And they was like, oh, we should just not have that in movies at all. And I gotta disagree. Not that I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. It's not okay. I'm just saying like, it's necessary in some points. It's for like storytelling. Not that rape is necessary, but like it's like you have to show it sometimes. Well, show it sometimes for the plot, for the story, if it makes sense. Like, oh, you're trying to portray this guy or girl as evil, and this is what he does. But like, if the scene is like real quick, like 5 seconds, like boom, you get the point, you see what's happening. Or because of course it's a movie, you're not gonna see what happens. You get the the image of it, like you get shoulders and her crying and shit like that, like, and then they move on. Like that's cool. And like but I do agree with them to a point. If it's just dragging, it's just like why are we on this sex scene? It don't have to necessarily be a rape scene. It'll be just a sex scene in general. Straight, gay, don't matter. It's like sometimes they just kind of drag them on. It's like, am I watching a porno? Like, come on, let's keep this shit moving. That's really all I gotta really say about that. As long as it makes sense for the context of the story, not you just like how like they some movies, especially like the early 90s movies, was really bad about it in the early 2000s, where they were just like sexualizing women to like an extreme. It's like titties, like here's titties in this movie. It's like, why? Like, it's nice, thank you for titties, but why are you showing me titties? Like, it don't make sense. Like, especially scary movies, they really bad about that. They put sex, trying to make adjacent movie sexy. It was like, just kill the bitch. That's all we looking for. That's all we came for. Gore, not. Yeah, it's nice. Like I said, titties are nice, but it's like, now, especially now as an adult, I see the unnecessariness of it. So, we just have to normalize it. Like, you have to normalize is becoming part of my vocabulary now. I'm sorry. Like, you just add stuff to the movie that makes sense. Stop trying to sell people's bodies. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, if you can't tell a story, then don't make the goddamn movie, man. Geez, that's all we really came for. That's really all I gotta say about that. Like, because anime does a real bad job about that too. It's like, sometimes they do good, sometimes they do bad. A good example, I know I'm gonna lose a lot of people about this, because of like anime. It's a show called Goblin Hunter. Goblin something. It was something Goblin Killer or something. I forget the name of it. But basically, as the title says, it's just this guy who his whole expertise is killing goblins, right? And to show how bad goblins are, who and usually in like RPGs or whatever, or like open world games, goblins and like slimes are like usually the weak, like lower class enemies. Like, these are the enemies you first meet when you're trying to like grind and get your levels up and stuff like that. But so people kind of like look over it. Even in this anime, people are like, why is he only hunting goblins? They're weak. But in reality, to show how villainous these goblins are, and you don't fuck with them if you're not prepared. You can get fucked up. The first episode, there's a rape scene. there's a rape scene. They don't really go into details. It's like I said, they show like the chest and the guy, well, not the guy, but the goblin, like being smiling and shit like that, not the laugh and shit like that. I'm sorry. And then the girl crying or whatever. So we get what's happening. So he's like, because what happened, this girl was in a team, because in like in these type of games, they have a team of like a healer, a knight, and etc. Right, and they go on a team of 3, and they went into this. These are like lower class hunters and whatnot, right? And they went into this cave unprepared and got jumped by a bunch of goblins, which caused the guy to get killed and one girl to get, right. So that was like a good example. It's a bad scene to look at, but it's necessary for the story to prove that these low class enemies can be evil as well. It's like, if not prepared, they can fuck your ass up too. So that was a good scene. But like other ones, like I watched this one, not to keep talking about anime, but this it's in the middle for me. It's a show called Redoofhealer, and they immediately jump into just a too long didn't read. I'm sorry. It's just it's this guy who's a healer, right? That's his whole class, is to heal people. Apparently, right away he's been treated like a dog. He's got drugged and stuff like that. So he immediately becomes I'm just gonna layman terms. He becomes a super healer to the point where he can go back in time. It's like he gains so much power that he can go back in time and redo that same life. But he's gonna get revenge on all the people who did him wrong. But what I didn't know was basically it's kind of like a gore fetish, kind of just rape revenge type of thing. So they could have did it a whole different way and like portrayed that story in a different light. Yeah, you still could have got your revenge, but like the rape scenes was kind of not necessary for real. So that's why I'm like hit and miss about it. Like, so they did it wrong, and that's why it's that particular show, Redoofhealer, is getting a lot of heat, or people don't like it because it's just like kind of unnecessary. You got like it's crazy. I'm not gonna go into too much detail. It's unnecessary. That's a bad example of like those type of scenes in anime. But the one thing I talked way too long about that one. Jesus Christ! I didn't know I was gonna talk for that long. But the reason why the second topic I want to talk about was artists having ghostwriters, like whether it be musicians or comedians. I was having this disagreement with people on Clubhouse again about, because it is like producers and people who run shows. They were saying that oh no, it's perfectly fine for like a comedian to have a ghostwriter, and me, of course, as a comedian, I'm like, I don't know, like I get it if it's for a movie, like for a production, like a movie or like a music video, something like that. Like you need a team. But me personally, I feel like if George Collins cannot write jokes for George Collins' act, then I shouldn't do it. I should either do old shit to make money or just don't do it. That's how I feel about it. And I was telling them, I was like, if I get to the point where I personally can't write good jokes anymore, then I'm just not gonna do it. And they was like, well, that's stupid, because these dudes are talking about like got the whole money mentality. You know how those people are, just like no integrity or anything like that. And they was like, well, integrity, you're not gonna feed your kids or anything like that, and feed your family. And look, when I say that, I'm not against money. You feel me? I'm not putting down artists or comedians who do get ghostwriters, But the thing that bugs me is when they try to like have an ego, when they at the end of the day have an ego about being that in that profession, even though they're paying people to do their job for them. It's like, yeah, make your money. Like Drake. I have if you know the history of this podcast, you know I have a problem with Drake, but it's like Drake going around like bragging and boasting about like being the GOAT, right? But then he got ghostwriters. He had people like, and to set this straight, like for a comedian, when you like sit down with your homies and you kind of like help get tags and stuff like that for jokes, I'm not saying that's bad. All right, I'm saying like you have nothing. You wake up Monday morning, nothing in your brain, no jokes. I'm just gonna say a number, $200. You give $200 to John, and at the end of the day, he got you a 5-minute set. That if you doing that, don't do comedy. Like, I'm kind of contradicting myself a little bit, I know, but like that's what I mean. So it kind of bugs me when people like Drake will get a ghostwriter for his music and shit like that, but then brag that he's the GOAT. But then people, you still got people like Wayne, who I know for sure writes his own shit. It's like, I think he went on like radio a long time ago talking about he don't even write no more. He just kind of improv the whole damn thing, which is fucking impressive. And that's how he gets the respect. That's why people still call him the GOAT, even though people joke about how he look now, which, yeah, it's ridiculous. That's on the back burner. He's the GOAT. He writes his own shit. That's the end of the day. So what? The Drake, people like Drake or whoever you can think of. I can't right now think of anybody else who got a lot of money. That's all people see, and that's kind of pathetic in my eyes, man. And they were trying to make the argument. It's like, oh well, going back to the comedy part now. The people that on Clubhouse talking about, well, Kevin Hart is he does that because he's like stretched thin. He's doing movies, he's doing commercials, all types of stuff. So he doesn't have time to write jokes. So I was like, then don't write jokes. Then don't do comedy. That like his last special. If you liked it, that's what's up. That's cool. But yeah, that shit was terrible. That shit was bad. He was, and you know what? I didn't really think about it before when I first saw it until I had this conversation with these people. It's like he was still doing the same motions and stuff like that, and it was because he has somebody else doing it for him. Like he has somebody else who studied Kevin Hart, but still doing like his mannerisms from like 10 years ago. That, you know how like what's his name, Jay Phoenix, Jay Fury, something like that, right? He does the impressions of like Eddie Murphy. He does Kevin Hart and shit like that. He was on SNL and everything. It's like you might as well at that point, if you're just gonna pay somebody to do your mannerisms and do jokes that they think that you would do. Now you might as well just give that special to Jay. You feel me? Just give it to Jay, and he can do the job. Give it to somebody else. All right. You make. I'm not trying to like take money or like take food from someone's plate and anything like that. But I'm just saying, it's like, especially Kevin Hart in this particular argument, like you got money. You doing movies and shit like that. You got money. You all right. You don't necessarily need to do comedy to make money. It's like at that point you have millions of dollars. You don't need more money. You know what I mean? Because at this point, if you still living check to check and you're making millions, then you have a spending issue. That's your own problem, man. So, man, this is stupid. So we were just going back and forth. It was a friendly argument, kind of going back and forth, but they just would not drop the whole "you have to make your money" type stuff, instead of just understanding where I was coming from. Because, okay, look, imagine if if we find out tomorrow that all these years, all the way back to Killing Me Softly, Killing Them Softly, Dave Chappelle didn't write any of that. None of his stand-up. It was just some dude. It was just his homie who was just afraid to go on stage. Like, I get there's jobs as writers, but then say that. Then just say it. It's the ones that get writers, then pretend it's them. That's the ones that bug me. But let's find out that, let's say, Dave Chappelle, the fucking one of the best comedians out there. So would you not feel a certain way if we found out that none of that was him? He's just a face. Yeah. It's like, cause I get it's comedians out here who are more charismatic than funny. So what if we find out that's him? Of course, we're gonna look down on that. We're gonna have a different look on it. And what bugged me about this argument is I told them that. So I was like, what if you found out Dave Chappelle didn't write any of that shit? You wouldn't be like, have no thoughts about that. Like, damn. See, this whole time I thought they was like, nah, we understand it. It's like fucking liars. It's like, I hate those people who can't, like, not be wrong. You feel me? They can't see the wrong in their statement and, like, even tweak it a little bit. Like, okay, I understand what you mean, but I'ma still keep my opinion. Like, I hate those motherfuckers, man. And that was this whole Clubhouse disagreement. Because these are the same people that was saying, listening to the whole Monique thing, where she was like, wanted, what the fuck did she want? She didn't take 500,000 from somebody or something like that. It was some weird shit. I didn't really look into it. That's the whole thing. It's like the more I get into, the deeper I get into this business, I feel like I'm not suited for it. It's like, I'm not sleazy. I'm not sleazy enough to do half the things or think the way that some of these people think. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think it's just these particular people. And as bad as it's going to sound, I only get this like weird negative vibe from black comedians. Is that crazy to think? Is that crazy to say? Because like this Clubhouse thing, it's like, it's not particularly black comedians, but like, it's like this black mindset. Like I said, the whole money thing, like you do anything. I don't know how to explain it. I'll probably explain it in the next episode if I really think about it. But I've only had that vibe with my own people. It's like, it's more about money than like the passion of comedy. I'm not saying that there's no sleazy white people. Of course, of course it is. But I've only got this vibe from other black people. Like it's a bunch of cliques, especially here in Vegas, with like both races, of course. But when it comes to the business side of it, I don't know. I have to think about that more. I might talk about it some more on the next episode, but that's how I feel about it. I don't know. If you can't write your own stuff, stop doing comedy, bro. Or just get on stage and do some bad shit. You know how it is. Get on them. Those be the same ones who don't go to open mics anymore. Who look down on people who go to open mics. They don't go no more. They only get on stage to get paid. If they getting paid, which is ridiculous. But then find out they not writing their own shit. I don't know. It's pathetic. The whole thing, man. Putting that whole money over integrity. Then what the fuck are you doing comedy for? It's like, become a scam artist or something. Like, become a salesman. This ain't the business for you, for real. That's why we don't have consistent good people in comedy, because you got people who thinking more about the money or the end goal of like fame and shit like that than like trying to actually write something unique. I said it before. Some funny comedians here in Vegas, but it's not a lot of creativity here on the West Coast from what I've seen. Like I said, it's a lot of funny jokes, but I don't find a lot of uniqueness like I did back in the South or on the East Coast. So, and I think that's because of the whole business thing. People just thinking about money. It's kind of sad, man. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening, y'all. I'm done rambling. Thanks for listening. Again, this episode is brought to you by Link App. It's a little app that you can click on the back of somebody's, like a modern phone. Click on the back of their phone. It'll send them your social medias quick, fast, and hurry. Instead of them typing your name on Instagram, just tap the back of their phone. It's easy. Hit the link that's in the bio wherever you're listening to. Use the promo code 3347, and that's it, y'all. I appreciate y'all listening. Please share the show. If you're on Apple, review the show. Follow me on Spotify. All the good stuff. You know the stuff. So, oh yeah, I forgot. YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube too. So that's it. Love y'all. See y'all next time.